Hey y'all, I'm back at it again on a Friday. Hey, this morning I was thinking of all Mary J. Blige stuff. I was like, man, I just want to go home, give me some delicious version drinks, version mixed drinks, and just be like, go Mary, go Mary, go Mary, go Mary. She be getting it. Well, her little old self, her little old non-dancing off-key singing self. I love Mary J. Blige. Anyway, it's a Friday. I'm so ready. Yes. Once again, my phone is trash. You know, my camera is broken. Whatever. And life goes on. Life goes on. Anyway. What did I want to talk about today? This morning I was like, oh man, I gotta do me a video, gear it up, you know, like I got all stuff to talk about. First, I would like to address the sexy voice that's happening now. I was like under the weather this week or something like that. I had a cough. Like twice a year I get the sexy voice. And like I got a love-hate relationship with the sexy voice or whatever. It's like I like the voice. A lot of people don't. They be like, girl, you sound like a man. But I be like, what's up? I like it. I don't really have much going on. I was just talking with one of the workers or whatever, one of my friends from my son's daycare. I'm like, I'm not doing nothing this weekend. I'm just gonna chill out or whatever. Like, I'm feeling pretty good. Things that I had worried about or whatever, I gave it to God and I feel good about it, you know. But I'm trying to think about what it was that I want to talk about. I want to talk about something very specific. And that makes no difference. This is me thinking. I got a doctor's appointment today, so keep an eye out, because later on I want to do a love baby post or whatever, so keep your eye out on that. So lately or whatever, I've been thinking like about the things you share and the things you don't share, right? And I mean the things you share and the things you don't share with people. I don't always share a lot of stuff with people. I know it seems as though I do because I got a whole freaking YouTube channel, right? So it's like sharing. But really this YouTube channel for me is like sharing my life experiences, sharing some stories, and hoping that it can help positively affect somebody in the future or whatever. It can help guide people in their journey to life in the future, you know what I'm saying? And my Love Baby series, that's just because I want to look back and be like, oh, my baby, I remember. And there's a lot of people out there that's like expecting, and there's a lot of different types of situations and stuff like that out there. My nephews just most recently was asking questions about like my family dynamic, and they were like, well, and they're kids, they're like 5, you know, they're little sweet babies, and they were like, well, why is it like this, or why is the family like that, or why is uncle such and such like this, and you know, like, and then they were asking about love and what love has to do with the family dynamic and stuff like that. Like, kids are like so smart. And I'm like, man, am I ready to like have these types of conversations or whatever with my son? And I'm not, you know, and I'm like, man, I don't plan on it. I'm gonna call an uncle, call a friend. You better call your daddy and ask your daddy about what's going on. I do, so it's just like interesting, and it makes you kind of like reflect or whatever, reflect on like your understandings, reflect on the understandings of others and stuff like that. I think they're like, everybody's kind of like fighting their own little battle in life and stuff like that. And it looks different to other people. The other day I had a coworker, and she was like she was trying to joke, but she was like low-key coming for me. And I had to be like, man, like, I'm having such a great day. I'm having such positive energy. Everybody I run into, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're running into me with smiles. Like, I can see my energy vibrating and stuff. Like, I'm seeing, like, I'm feeling people auras and stuff. And it's been years since I've been able to do that. So I'm like, oh, snap. Watch out. But I was like, dang, all of this is going on, and then it's like, boom, you know, like, she's coming for me. But she had messed up, and she had to come to me and like admit that she had messed up. And after she came to me and admitted she messed up or whatever, then later on in the day, she was like throwing little, you know, little jabs. Is that a jab? That's a jab. I like, she was throwing little jabs. They was little ones, so maybe that's something like that. She's throwing little jabs or whatever. And I was like, oh, this has nothing to do with me. You messed up. And I know you messed up or whatever. And so now you're throwing little jabs at me because I've caught you messing up. Okay, I'm going into the parking lot. It's going to get real dark. Oh, my little homie not here. Oh, she's something else. But anyway, so I was just kind of like it was neither here nor there for me. Like, I was like, oh, okay, I know what's going on. But I think it's so amazing. Like last year, and it's probably still going on for all I know, to be honest, or whatever. It's like people will mess up, right? People will make mistakes and like do you wrong, do you bad, and then they'll go and they'll say negative things about you to justify how or why they were so bad to you or mean or whatever. And sometimes it's like oh man, it's always, well, whatever, we're just gonna do it in the dark. Sometimes we're just gonna do it in the dark. Anyway, a side note, I've been seeing a lot of sexy guys out there. What's up, y'all? But anyway, it's like they'll do that to try to like justify, and sometimes they'll ask themselves like, dang, why was I acting like this or whatever, and they'll try to justify it to themselves. Okay, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It's not even about you. You know, it could be about you, because like I've had people be like, oh, you think you're so innocent, you're not innocent. Oh no, I'm not innocent, but I know in this situation I ain't do nothing. I know this time it wasn't going on or whatever. And like, once you understand that it's not always about you, like people who are narcissistic or people who are self-centered and stuff like that, there's a certain type of development that they will never have or whatever. Because in order to like have true understanding, you have to like look outside of yourself. You have to look within yourself so that you can like kind of gather what's going on, because the God is within you and your subconscious speaks within you. But you also have to look outside of yourself, because what your situation is not everybody's situation. Like we were talking about people that's been at the same organization for 10, 20, 30 years or whatever, and how they're like a cult mentality because they don't understand the workings of the world outside of that. But they think they do. They don't know what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? So you go and you interact with them, and you're interacting with them from experience and knowledge from the world, and all they have is this little bubble that they've been pouring down or whatever, and they don't understand what you're talking about, and they may never understand what you're talking about. Kind of like what is that movie, Blast from the Past, when he was in that basement or whatever, and his dad was trying to explain baseball to him, but he just could not get it. He could not understand it or whatever. And he was like, why do people run to second base? And the dad is like, because they must. And he's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And so he went and he saw an actual baseball game, and he stood up and he was like freaked out. He was like, because they must. Because they must. Like, he finally got it. So when you're dealing with people with limited experience and things like that, or you're dealing with people that like don't take time out to see like beyond themselves and don't really know and understand how to process like outside information, especially when there's like spiritual things or things about God and understanding that's coming in, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know what you're talking about a lot of the times. But you know, I think it's kind of like whatever. But then you have to decide or whatever how you want to interact with those people. You know what I'm saying? How you want to interact with those people, because at a certain extent, once you see God's will, once you understand, once you know, you cannot unknow. You will never ever ever unknow. Like, oh, I can't unsee that. You know, you see people saying that, I can't unsee that. You will never unknow. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's just and you'll be, I don't want to say like punished, it'll be different for you if you don't react on those things that you know, if you don't like incorporate those things that if you try to still be like ignorance is bliss when you already know, it doesn't work out for your higher good. You know, it doesn't work out for your higher good. When you put like false realities, or when you like try to block seeing the situation for what it is because of your ego or because of pride or whatever, it doesn't work out for you. Like, it just doesn't work out good for you at all. But anyway, so like I think some things are hard to explain to some people, depending on where that person is coming from in life. How do you explain broken homes to 5-year-olds? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you explain it and they'll get it, they'll get parts of it, but they won't truly understand until they get to a certain age or whatever in their lives. I was like in 8th grade before I understood that you can have kids without being married. I was a little behind. But you know, I'm a little sheltered. But I was like, you have to at least have been married once to someone in order to be able to reproduce children. That's crazy. But that's where I was or whatever. So, you know, like, I don't know. But I think no matter what's going on, no matter like what you're going through or whatever, it's a good idea to, one, meditate, do yoga, you know, connect with God, with God's words. I really try to be on the path of like God, and on the path of my purpose that has been set for me by God. Let me say it like that. And I mess up all the time. All the time. I got two, you know what I'm saying? I got a kid, and I have another kid out of wedlock or whatever, you know, and that wasn't the plan. That wasn't the plan, of course. We were, you know, planning to get married and all of this and that, and we've known each other for about 20 years and stuff like that, you know, but it was still like, you know, I ain't following, you know, what I was about. And it happens and stuff like that. But at a certain extent, you gotta be like, okay, this is what's going on. This is where we are. And how do I get back on the path or whatever, you know, and not, I guess not let it consume you in a negative type way. My dad would tell me anytime that like you're sick. I remember one time I got super sick. And he was like, what bad came from that sickness? You know? I was like, it was terrible. It was terrible. He was like, well, think about it. What bad came from that sickness. And so I'm like, whatever happens to me or whatever comes from it is like for a reason and stuff like that. And like some things is just to like strengthen you for the future and stuff like that. It's to prepare you for what is to come, you know, or it's to help you with your perspective and in life in general, and open up your mind. And like I said, once it's open, you can't go back, and so you'll carry that with you forever, you know. And sometimes you do get off path, and they say if you guide a child right, even when they get off path, they'll come back because they know what is right, you know, and they know what they're doing is wrong and stuff like that. You know, my kids are blessings. You know what I'm saying? I wish somebody would try to tell me different. We gonna fight. We gonna fight. But, you know, I was just thinking about that. This morning. I was also thinking about Mary J. Blige. And that it's gonna be really hot, because it was like 6 o'clock this morning. It was already hot. But anyway, that's all I have. That's all I have for you guys today. Oh no, I tell you lies. I feed you lies from the tablecloth. I'm gonna come back after my doctor's appointment and do a Love Baby update or whatever. So everybody know what's going on. But yeah, so thank you guys. Enjoy. Please like, please subscribe. I got some new subscribers. Shout out to you or whatever. Thank you guys so much, and have a great Friday. Do something new, even if it's just one thing, even if you just take a different way to work than you usually do. Like, do something new. It's the Mercury retrograde, and I'm loving the energy. I love it. I love it. Okay, bye.